This is the Global Economic Commodities Scrap Metal and Recycling Report by our Bentley roll-off trailers and gondola trailers scrap haulers, February 14th, 2022. U.S. weekly crude steel production fell to 1.785 million tons. This is on slow U.S. vehicle manufacturing and lower-priced imports taking share. WTI crude oil price rose to $93.10 a barrel, the highest since 2014. Russia's possible invasion of Ukraine could dramatically increase prices. Russia is currently the #1 producer of oil globally. Sadly, they are clearly in the driver's seat. U.S. weekly oil production rose to 11.6 million barrels per day, down a huge 1.5 million barrels per day from pre-COVID. This is on particularly good demand, and as higher prices will bring more production. The U.S. weekly oil rig count rose to 516, still well off pre-COVID. Low drilling is supporting higher prices and near record cash flow for oil companies. Scrap steel #1 HMS price was mostly steady at $406.67 a gross ton. There remains a good balance between supply and demand. Hot rolled coil steel price fell to $54.37 per hundredweight, which is $1,087 a ton. Importantly, this was on good supply from U.S. mills and lower-priced imports. Copper price fell to $4.44 a pound on the stronger dollar as interest rates are beginning to rise, which is going to reduce spending. Aluminum price rose to $1.44 a pound, which is $31.74 a metric ton, near a record high. Production shutdowns in Europe and China due to high energy costs are hurting production. China's January Caixin Composite Purchasing Manager Index. It fell to a 5-month low of 50.1, where under 50 is contraction. New orders and foreign sales shrank, and selling price inflation accelerated to a 3-month high. U.S. February U of M Consumer Sentiment Index. It fell to 61.7, the lowest since October 2011, mostly on concerns over inflation and government policies. U.S. 2021 trade gap, which is a major deficit. It rose 27% to $859 billion, a new record. Imports surged 20.5% as U.S. consumers were flush with cash and spending. Exports were also a record, with sales of jet engines and, ironically, BMW and Mercedes SUVs made here in the U.S. being the highest exports. U.S. January NFIB Small Business Optimism Index. It fell to 97.1, an 11-month low. This was on higher labor costs and supply chain disruptions. U.S. January consumer inflation rose to 7.5%, the highest since 1982. This was on soaring energy prices, labor shortages, and strong demand. A bit of good news is that the 7.5 is calculated from 12 months ago when prices had tumbled. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 352 points to 34,738. This is on concerns of Russia and Ukraine, as well as higher interest rates. Tarp parts and tarp systems for sale. Pioneer, Rollright, Donovan, and more. Replacement tarps, arms, cylinders, and more. Buy at Bentley's online parts store or call 734-722-8100. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.